Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Correct Me If I'm Wrong. I'm Patrick.
I'm Devin.
No.
Okay.
Mesa. Lou. No.
Maybe.
Oh.
That was nice. Nobody heard you, but that was nice. That was good. All right, so we're back. So a couple days ago, we did pet peeves in a relationship. We're going to continue that because it was such a hit.
Killing it.
All right, so Mesa Lou, read us our rest of our user requested questions.
So, one of the ones we briefly talked about, we were going to talk about on one of the early episodes was the toilet paper situation, not refilling the toilet paper roll. So when you go to use the restroom and it's an empty cardboard roll,
So
how annoying is that?
This has been my whole life, so it's a 1 because I'm used to it. I am the
Kids
refiller.
again.
I just refill it because I'm used to it. No big deal to me.
So that quite a bit annoys me, because sometimes I have to use the restroom, and sometimes I have to go really quick. Sometimes I'm running.
You're having a waddle with your pants
Yes.
around your ankle.
And so when I look over and I realize Devin was the last one to use the restroom and there's no more toilet paper on the roll, it's frustrating. It really is. So it is extremely frustrating, especially when you're in that moment. When I'm in that moment, I'm probably like a 4 at least. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say 3 because most of the time I catch it. So it's still annoying that I have to be the one to fill it up because you were right there. But if I'm in the moment and I'm having a waddle from one restroom to go find some more toilet paper, it's definitely a 4. So, yeah.
I like it. Nay? Oh, you said it. I'm sorry. Devin.
I would give it about a 3. Also, I do tend to do not put the new toilet paper on there, but it's the fact that I don't know where the toilet paper is. I'm just so in the moment. I just like, all right, I did my thing.
He's like, I can't ask. I can't look. It's a huge, my but for those who don't know, my bathroom's huge. It's like 2 stories, has cabinets everywhere. It's impossible to find the toilet paper in this tiny restroom that's the size of like someone's closet. It's impossible to find it.
I still give it about 3.
He's like, I give it a 3 because I'm normally the one that doesn't refill the toilet paper. So that's why it's a 3 for me. When I go back, it's magically filled. That's why it's only a 3 for me. Mason?
I would say like a 2. Just I haven't experienced it a whole lot. Living with the girls that I've lived with. Normally, it was there. Like I haven't had a lot of situations where I forget. Normally, I'm pretty good about throwing it back on there. Now my guest restroom here at the house, sometimes I forget to have a little bit there for my guests, so that's probably annoying to them.
And he forgets to change his magazines out. I've been reading about Tiger Woods winning the cup for like 5 years now.
You blame John Woodbury for that. John Woodbury canceled his Sports Illustrated subscription, and I stopped getting them.
Yeah, dang it, John.
Yeah, so blame him, not me. So yeah, not too annoying. I'd say like a 2 probably. So this one's gonna be interesting. The snooze alarm.
That's gonna be interesting.
Snooze alarm.
The snooze alarm. Have you ever had a partner where they stayed the night and they had to get up earlier than you, and they snooze their alarm consistently?
Or even like your family, you can hear it in other rooms.
No, that didn't really bother me. I mean, I've heard it, but sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. I'm kind of a heavy sleeper, so I don't really hear the snooze button. So I would put that on 1.
Nice. So, I hit the snooze button a lot. And what's so funny, I saw this, I watching a Joe Rogan podcast, and he talked about that. He went through this whole ordeal, how we go through everyday life situations and you need to change the way you do things because it works on your discipline, even if they're small. His examples he used was brushing your teeth. He goes, you probably brush your teeth every day with your right hand. He goes, for the next month, try with your left hand, right? Because he's saying you need to program your body to be able to adapt to changes, right? And that's how you create discipline, right? So that's he's small things. One of the things he talked about was the snooze alarm. He said you use snooze because you've used it your whole life. Right? He goes, you need to start lowering that snooze and eventually it won't bother you. And so it's funny because I I didn't look at it like that, but I had that mentality for a long time. Like when I was in college, I would wake up immediately because I never wanted to transition to the snooze guy. Now I'm a snooze guy. Right? I snooze it for like a year, probably if not longer. So I'm definitely a snoozer. So I don't know if it would bother me. It would probably bother me at first because I feel like I'm a kind of a light sleeper. I'll hear things and I'll jump up. But I do feel like it's weird because after a while you kind of adapt to certain noises, and I feel like after a while, like I probably wouldn't even hear their alarms anymore. It's just so weird. Like consciously, you're like, I don't hear that one anymore. So I don't think it would bother me after a while. So I'd probably give it like maybe like I'd probably honestly give it like a 1. I don't think it would bother me that much if at all.
I'm at a 1 just because I feel like you get used to it. And I am not a snoozer. I just jump out of bed. So the first one that I hear, I'm up. And I'm used to that. And I've always been like that. But people that snooze don't bother me because I'm a heavy sleeper. I could just sleep through anything. I'm just like, that's not for me. I'm still sleeping. So.
We learned that when Devin was possessed.
That is going to be one funny story one day. Ladies and gentlemen, one day we're going to have a special. And we're going to talk about how Devin was possessed one night.
Yep.
And it's going to be a great special.
And now we slept through it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Because like that's a great example. It's just
And
like,
me and
I'm
Mesa
sleeping.
heard everything, and we're like sitting up, like, oh my God, what's happening? Anyways,
We were little girls, basically.
Mesa Lou?
I'm gonna feel real bad because all of y'all said 1s. It's a 5 for me. Oh
Dang.
my God, it is annoying. That drives me insane. I have had girlfriends in the past that do the snooze. Jesus, I can't talk today. The snooze, and that annoys me more than just about anything. Because I'm the type that when my alarm goes off, I get up. I sometimes I'll lay in bed and like get on my phone or whatever and do stuff, but I don't snooze.
Yeah.
I never snooze. And I can't think of a time I ever snoozed. So when I hear that alarm go off every 5 minutes for multiple times, oh my gosh, I am in a bad mood now. Like, don't talk to me. Like, don't try to cuddle next to me. We're in a fight. You don't even know it.
When I wake up later, I'm awake right now. But when I fully wake up, it's on.
It sets me off, dude. I'm telling you right now. So any girls in the future, if we're dating and you've heard this podcast, do not snooze your alarm because I will lose it. We're going to fight about it. It's going to happen. It ruins my entire day. Yeah. So yeah, it's a 5 for me. Big time. Super annoying.
I like it.
So back to sleeping. Snoring. How annoying is snoring?
Man, we would have to be talking about what drastic amount of snoring. You know, I've been in the same room as Devin, and that man snores. So if it's drastic like that, that would be tough. I don't think I could do that. It's probably gonna be, I would say, oh man, I would probably say it's a 3. It's probably a 3 for me, especially if it's on the very dramatic side. It's probably a 3. But it's because I guess it's just because like I have such a hard time falling to sleep already, and now I gotta hear it's like God dang. So that would be rough. But I do fall asleep to like podcasts, so that might be for the other person to be like, what the heck? I gotta listen to this podcast. So. So essentially, maybe in theory, I could drown out the snoring by listening to podcasts, which is a battle of noise. But I'm gonna stick with the 3. That's gonna be a 3 for me.
That's not too bad.
It's gonna be a 4 because like I know I'm a heavy sleeper, but snoring is just like too much. Sorry, Devin, but it's just too much. Like it's not. No, maybe I'd get used to it after a couple of years, but like no, it's too much, too loud. Sorry. 4.
I feel like this is towards me when it comes to snoring. I don't know where I got that feeling from. People in my family snore. Like, you think I snore? It's inherited. So people in my family snore. So that's something you just have to get adjusted to. So I give it a 1.
That's just something they have to deal with it. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
deal
He
with
said
it.
just deal with it.
Just deal with it. Yeah, and I didn't think it was that bad, guys. I just really tried. But you know what sucks though? Sometimes when I'm snoring, it wakes me up. Sometimes, like I'm snoring.
And I'll be like looking over and staring at him. He's like, I wasn't asleep. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I've done that before. If I'm really sleepy, I'm just laying on the couch and we're just chilling. I'm laying on the couch. I'll fall asleep. Like close my eyes. And I go. It was like, he's like, "Will you sleep?" No, I'm good. No. So you were asleep.
But like you're also a heavy breather too, so sometimes like you're like we watched the
Oh,
movie a
yes.
couple times, and I'm like, is he snoring?
Yeah, wait, are you see?
But like, he's like wide awake.
What? What are you talking?
I'm in the zone, buddy.
the world?
That movie is good. I am just focused. I forget just my breathing.
But for me, snoring, I'm gonna say like a 2. I'm not a very light sleeper. I'm a little bit of a heavy sleeper, and I snore too. So I can't really be like, how dare you snore?
How dare you snore in my
It's
presence?
only me. Like, so I don't know how bad I snore, but I do know for a fact that I snore. So like, it's gonna be really hypocritical of me to be like, can you not?
What sucks about that is like everything we've talked about in this episode and last episode is like controllable, right? Essentially, like you can
Yes.
control literally everything we've talked about. You can adjust your self-control. You can't with this one, right?
You can't.
You're stuck with what you have. So
And this is the first sure deal with it.
yes, yeah, this is definitely the first real deal with it. Everything else you can adjust. Snoring thing, just deal with it.
So this one's gonna be an interesting one too. Chronic indecision. So not making decisions when it comes to like places to eat, things to do, movies to watch. When someone is like, I don't care, I don't know, like stuff like that. How annoying is that to you?
Whew. Let me think about it. I'm just kidding. Y'all get that? Anybody get that joke? Or you guys still think about it?
No.
So, I'm an alpha. I'm just kidding. Like I'm just conceited like that. I feel like most of the time I'm cool with making a decision. Everything about this just sounds so cocky. But like I'm okay with it. It's cool, right? But there are those times where you just don't want to, right? You're just like, oh man, like just pick something to eat, or like where do you want to go, or what do you want to do, like because like again, like I feel like it's always me, and that's not cool. You know what I mean? Anybody? I'm just kidding.
Is it kind of like you're kind of forcing the person?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm forcing the person
Yep.
every single time, and nobody wants to feel that way. So I'm okay with making the decision. If you're kind of a passive person, that's cool. Like you know what, I'll make the decision most of the time. But sometimes you want to be like, where do you want to go, right? Because especially when it comes to eating. Right, so I'm not a very picky eater, but there's obviously places that I really like, and the places like I'll go if you want to go, but
Right.
I will never pick that place, me preferably. So if that's where you want to go, then let's go. But that's never gonna come out of my mouth because I particularly would rather not pay for that. So yeah,
And
so
that's kind of one of those things, right? Where like a girl that will say like, I don't know, I don't care, or whatever, and you're always picking. And then we'll say something along the lines of like, well, we never get to go where I
Yes,
want to go.
eventually that
And
comes
it's
out.
like, what?
Yes.
I ask you all the time.
or when things go wrong, like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh, let's go do this. And you're like, oh, that was not a good movie. That was not. I was like,
Uh-huh.
well, sucks for me, I guess, right? So yeah, no, there's definitely that pinpoint. I don't think it bothers me so much, but I think it's okay. I just hypocritical myself. It's gonna bother me a lot only because I feel like 90% of the time I'm okay with just making the decision. So this rare 10 times, 1 out of every 10 times
I think that's how that math works.
that I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go eat? And you can't pick, and you only do 1 out of 10. It's crazy to me. So I'm gonna have to say when it comes to that moment, I'm probably like at a 4. It's pretty deep. So. Yeah, Devin, you still thinking over there?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I get it. I was like,
I haven't decided. Someone else next, please.
no, you can go if you want.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
She's like, I don't know. Do I want
So,
to?
like, okay, so to basically, you're saying somebody that's indecisive if they bother me. Yes, because I don't want to make the decisions anymore. I've gotten to the point to where like I used to always have to be the one. I guess I was the one that always made decisions, had to run things, had to be in charge, and so I'm tired of that. So I don't want to be with somebody who can't decide. So I guess it's a 4. Yeah. Sorry.
And then, what do you mean? Like, as in restaurants or
Yeah,
as in,
like just like everything. Just can you
Anything.
just decide?
Anything.
Because
You even said like if she was married, she would be like, here's
Here's
my
my
money, here's my
money.
bills. Like
You
just
can-
make
you
the proper
handle it.
decisions,
Wow.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I'm so like I
That's
don't
bold.
want. I'm just tired of all that stuff.
What if he's just not good with money though?
Well, I feel like he's gonna have to be that.
I don't think it works like that.
Yeah,
He just gets good. I don't think that.
Well,
That
he's
is gonna be
well,
on her
gonna have to be.
quality check when we do Are You the One?
Yeah,
There you go.
he's gonna have to be. I mean, it's not gonna work if he's not.
I would give it a a 2, and the reason why, because I can be indecisive sometimes. I've heard that, but that's something I'm really trying to work on. Like, I'll put out there, I want pizza. If someone says, "Oh, where do you want to have pizza?" I would say it doesn't really matter, but I'm trying to be more decisive and say, "Oh, how about Papa John's?" And just I'm trying to be just doing stuff like that. I'm trying to be more, assertive. But I'm trying to do
Who
more
was
stuff
that?
like that.
I don't know, but we like that guy. I'm just kidding.
No, but sometimes it does annoy me a little bit when another person does that too, because I will put something out there and they'll say like, I don't know. But I do that sometimes, so I have to say it's a 2 because I have to work on that.
I think the common misunderstanding, especially when it comes to people who are like the alpha and the passive, right? Because that's kind of where this tear happens, right? Is that a lot of times like is coming from someone who is very dominant. You're not. I feel like the passive person thinks like, oh my god, I have to make this decision. This is what we're running with. Sometimes you just want like an idea, like where would you where would you want to go? And you're like, you know what? Pizza. Okay, at least you've narrowed it down to pizza. Okay, what's your favorite pizza? Pizza Hut. I don't like Pizza Hut. Papa John's. I don't really like Papa John's. Oh, Caesar's. Okay, we're both Caesars. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to narrow that gap.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like okay,
compromise.
here's and we're narrowing it. But if you're leaving it all up to me, and then I'm to 1,000 choices, we can narrow it down to at least 5. So I think that's a little common misunderstanding there.
Yeah, I think that's a lot better.
Mason Lou?
I'm gonna say a 4 too, just because I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Sometimes you can feel like a lot of pressure when you're the one always choosing, because you eventually kind of run out of ideas.
Yeah,
You run out
for
of
sure.
ideas to go places to eat, things to do. You're like, can you help me?
Yes, like anything. Give me something.
Give me anything at this point. Like, I'm running out of ideas, and if you have a simple idea, I might just say yes, let's do it.
And
Like,
sometimes it clicks something, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
someone's like, you're like, man, nothing sounds good. And they're like, well, what about, Chinese? You're like, oh, you know what?
You know what?
Chinese does
Yeah,
sound
like-
good. So that's what you're looking for. Like
Yes.
inspiration. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally anything. Like, I might just be like, I don't know, but like if you keep giving me at least ideas, we'll compromise. We'll come to a conclusion about what we're gonna decide to do. But chronic indecision is just really annoying when it's just like, I don't know, I don't care. And you're like, oh my gosh, can you give me anything at this point? So no, it's annoying to me.
But like
4.
the person who seems passive, it's not always like I don't care what you want, like what we do. It's like I'm down for whatever. I think that's mainly what it is. The person who seems passive, like,
but
okay, like some.
correct me if I'm
yeah,
wrong.
Are you talking
there
about-
is a not you, no, not you in particular. Okay. Just people in general. A lot of times when they say, I don't care, or whatever you want, and then you're like, okay, what about this? And they're like,
Yes.
And you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh my
okay.
gosh.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like you just said, I'm like, well, not that though. And you're like, okay, what about this? You're like, oh, I'm done. I'm done.
Come on.
I'm done.
I've run across that. That does make me angry.
Yes.
So stuff like that, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a whiny girl.
Whoa.
Okay, calling out.
Oh, you just offended a lot of people.
Someone is aggressive these weeks.
She had a lot of 4s and 5s.
Because that's how I would feel. I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're so whiny. That's how I would feel if I was a guy.
You feel like that now as a
I
female.
know, as a female, you don't have to be a guy. Toothpaste tube vandalism. Squeezing from the middle instead of the bottom.
I've never thought of that before. I'm trying to think if that would bother me, and I'm trying to think what I do. I don't have a technique. So, oh man, I want to say it's probably not gonna bother me, so I'm gonna put a 1. So yeah.
As long as there's toothpaste, I'm at 1. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
mine's
really
at a
matter.
1 too. Yeah.
Mesa? All right. Like you have something different here.
Mine's a 4. Mine's a 4. And I didn't realize how much it bothered me until I got with someone that squeezed from the middle.
Okay.
And I was always like, are you... Never mind, I was going to say something really mean. Are you dumb? Like, it's driving me nuts. Like, it never... Because I always squeeze from the bottom, right? And I just kind of roll it up so you can get the most possible.
I
and
can
it's
see it.
super
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
to just... You squeeze from the bottom.
So
and
in the
like,
long term, it's gonna help you out because then
Yes.
you're gonna have to be the one to push it all up, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you know what's funny is like I've always had my own toothpaste.
I guess that's what it is. Like I've never thought about sharing toothpaste with somebody.
Oh, yeah. I've had 2 long-term relationships where I've lived with people. and like we share toothpaste.
Well, like I've
That's crazy.
been married and I've never shared toothpaste.
Like my parents, correct me if
I
I'm
have my
wrong,
own
mommy.
one.
But I'm pretty sure my parents do too. Like I think I've seen in their medicine cabinet where my dad has like his toothbrush and
Yes.
toothpaste, and my mom has her toothbrush and toothpaste.
Yeah.
So that's all I've always seen. So I would have never thought about sharing toothpaste with somebody.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know about my parents. I've never really paid attention to whether or not they share toothpaste.
Right.
But I've been into long-term relationship where we shared toothpaste. And every single time that thumb went to the middle of the tube, I almost lost my mind. I was like,
dare you?
"What are you doing?"
I'm
And she's
learning
like,
so much
"What?"
about Mesa. This
This is a whole new Mesa Luke. He is evolving in front of our eyes.
There's a reason I'm single.
I'm starting to see that he has a lot of things that you'll be like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's something simple as that like it just really annoys me because, like you said, I'm now having to squeeze from the bottom all the way back up to the top.
And
I'm
I
like,
could see it being
yeah.
annoying. I could
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
see it being, especially if it wasn't my fault. But I would never share toothpaste. I think that would never be my go-to. I'd probably find it weird if the girl came up to me and was like, just started randomly using my toothpaste. What are you doing? But I can see how it would be a problem.
And that's like I said in the two relationship that I've had, like we've shared toothpaste, and that was one of the things where I was like, oh my god,
awkward.
and I've had to tell them like, hey,
Quit
doing that. And then they'd be like, okay, and then like the next time, like the next night, right in the middle again, I'm like, I'm about to lose it.
That's so funny.